Hey guys, I wanted to make this video on a really interesting trade I got in on Friday. Um, Finished the day, read on it pretty good, but held it over the weekend for a few reasons. And I think for newer traders, if they can kind of see this and see where and what I'm talking about on the chart, maybe it might help them one day. So I got in this trade on Friday. I wind up, end the trade. So profit like $17,000, but I could have lost a pretty significant amount of money. And I'll tell you why I didn't in a sec when I put all this together. So 2 o'clock on Friday, I came to my computer. Didn't know what to trade, so I went on FinViz and I look at the top gainers, and I saw IHT on there. So first thing I'll do is look at the chart on multiple time frames. But before I do that, actually, I'll look at the float. So how many shares are there out there, and how many of them are sold short, insider zone, what percentage, things like that. So I can get a good idea as to what's going on when I look at the bottom and start calculating, the volume and comparing it to the previous days and previous weeks, all that stuff. So I noticed the IHT only had about 2 million shares. And when I looked at the charts, if you look at your different time frames on your charts before you go into a trade, it's so much easier to know where your targets, what you can possibly hit, and where you're going to get resistance, things like that. But here, I'll pull up the weekly here in a second. So 220, I was like, all right, this thing spiked up over 100% on the day, and then shorts probably got in here on the way down, and then here again on the way down. I think this mouse doesn't show up evenly when I do the recording, so wherever the crosshairs are is what I'm talking about. So shorts probably piled in here too on the way down, because this is the first kind of break, right, of the flag a little bit. But what I liked about it is the pop, right? So pop from 382 back up to 459. So there's a lot of range on this. So taking a few thousand shares, if you can get in and get out real quick, that's great. You can make money really fast. But determining whether or not to do that on the stock, there's a lot of different things that go into that decision. In this case, it was I decided to do that because I thought we were going to squeeze into the close, short squeeze into the close, because of this drop here. And I knew I could get a couple dollars. So that's really what I was looking for. I didn't, I knew that worst come to worst, I'm going to come down to like 230, and I can buy 10,000 more shares, get a better average, let it sit for a while, wait for a pop and get out if I really needed to. So there wasn't much of there's no hard stop loss. I really don't use them in situations like this, because it's more of a mental, psychological thing, and finding out whether or not if your thought process is correct. So I was not correct about it squeezing into the close. Right at about 3 o'clock, it took a nosedive from like 450, and then it closed at 350. All right, so back to looking at the different time frames, I know that the weekly breakout, because I looked at the weekly before I got in the trade, the weekly breakout was $3.48 on this white candle right here. That's where it closed, right? And look, there's not even much volume, so it's not even that significant, but it is a marker on the chart. So I knew if this stock could close over $3.48, then it still has a chance of continuing, another push for a week. And it did. So it closed at 350, which is over 348. So I said, all right, but I'll stick with it through the weekend. Watched it in the after hours, pre-market on Monday, and then Monday comes around. So when Monday came around, right out of the gate, dropped from 363 to like 280. So this dollar, swings up and down, seemed to be normal for it. But what I noticed, and the reason why I didn't get out or buy much more here, because I thought maybe there was a bigger drop coming, or we were going to start to slowly inch up. So look at this, no volume here. So I don't care that it dropped 80 cents. There's no shares here, so whatever caused that is really not significant compared to all these loaded up over here at the same price range, because once it pops past this level here, I got the move that I need, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen, because taking into consideration, short squeezes we're squeezing this week, there's only 2 million shares in the float, so there's not a lot to go around, which will cause the price to increase and decrease pretty significantly, pretty quick. And the technical analysis, so the breakout level. So it had a lot of things going for it. So I really was positive the whole time that I wasn't going to lose money on this. I kind of wanted to add, but just didn't get around to doing it. So you can see it pop back up on Monday, and then the volume, so no volume the whole day, but the people who were buying it, or market makers, still holding this thing up, always right around that 340, 350 level, which is, flirting with that breakout of 348 again, right? So you can see here, tried twice, got up to 370, but didn't break out. And the reason why it didn't break out is because there's no volume. You need sustained push through this, hundreds of thousands of shares, not millions of shares, I should say. It's about 175K here, but not real significant volume. So when it did push up and actually confirm the breakout and make the move that I thought it was going to make, is because of the volume. So see, the volume came in a little bit more, a little bit more, and then boom, all the way up. And at that point, you're looking at the 15-minute chart here. It was what, 3:45, so only 15 minutes left to go into the close. So I sold the whole position into this strength. So as the stock is going up, I'm selling into the strength. Let's see, 980 shares. So I had 9,800 shares. So my first sell, I sold 10% of the position at 644. Then another 700 at 670, 280 at 670, 647, 652. And got out with a profit of about 17,000 rather than losing thousands of dollars. But I feel like I made a lot more than 17,000 because I didn't lose the thousands as well. And then not only that, a good learning experiences for newer traders. The technical analysis in different time frames, volume, there's a bunch of different things that go into whether or not you're going to lose money, make money. Things will play with your mind, but you got to have some kind of system in place. So with this, I stayed in because it closed above the breakout. And then even though I was losing money on Monday morning and it was dropping almost $1, you put two and two together, look, there's no volume here. So that's not really significant. I'm not going to sell my whole position here, take thousands of dollars of a loss when there's no volume. So the people who wanted to get in this stock, they wanted to get in when the price was rising. They're waiting for confirmation. So I should have bought some more shares into this, but whatever, I didn't. So that's why I kept through this, even though being red on it. And this is something you learn over time. Like, do I take the loss or do I believe in the trade? This wasn't a hard stop loss type trade. It was, I knew this was going to short squeeze because I've shorted so many penny stocks in the past before, and I've gotten squeezed so many times that I can see them coming. And this was definitely one. This little pop here, and then that drop. So you think you're good over the weekend, then you drop, you still think you're good on your short, and then it just slowly creeps up the whole day, and then all that volume comes in at one, and there's the squeeze. So that's pretty much it for that trade. It's still holding up. IHT this week, pretty much a triple top right there, you could say. Every time it closes, looks like it sells off. So open it up and then popping, selling off. So it could be getting weak, but the only way I would go long on this again is to have high volume with confirmation over the previous high, so $8.98. And then from there, you know, you're using Fibonacci's or whatever your system is, but I'm going to stay away from it until I see that, set an alarm on this, a notification, and then get back in if it looks good. And if not, that's fine too. So, yep, there it is, IHT Short Squeeze, psychology of the trade. You know, a lot of different things to think about, looking at multiple time frames, and, you know, believing in why you got in the trade. Even though I wasn't right about it popping on Friday, that technical level allowed me to be confident in holding it, and knowing that there was no volume on the dip on Monday allowed me to hold it and not take that loss, and then that same day in the afternoon get a nice gain. So just thought that was an interesting trade. If you have any questions, you know, just ask below, and I'm gonna make another video on a long similar setup with AMC that I did the day after this. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.